Very much. Honorable members, meeting is called to order. We shall give the accounting officer some 3 to 5 minutes to wrap it up for us insofar as those projects are concerned, and then we will proceed to the memorandum of progress.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I'm going to share on 3 projects as per your request, sir, that were not delivered on the schedule and not to cost. We have picked 3 examples here. We picked the Mong Water and Sanitation project. Contract 1, this project had 4 contracts. The contract sum, the initial contract sum was 1,873,965,188 pula. The revised contract sum, the revised contract sum, sir, was 2,259,029,514 pula. I've asked the director to do the variance.
400 million. The difference between the original and the current is Honorable 400 million.
Approximately
400 million. And in terms of time overruns,
it was supposed to be completed in April 2024. The revised completion date is December 2025.
So it's like 1.5 years behind.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the reason for the cost overruns, obviously connected to the time overrun.
The first issue was delay by the contractor to finish the designs. The second one was stoppage by DIA, Department of Environmental Affairs, for about a year to do environmental management plan along the Tamalakani River due to objections by some residents. So it took time to resolve the issue. The other delay was caused by electricity, BPC, to electrify some critical components of the project. Can I move to the second one, please?
Yeah, when a delay is occasioned by the contractor, would there be any fines or related charges against the contractor? Because one of the reasons why it was delayed was because of the contractor.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. There are charges that are done at the end of the project called liquidated damages, which are assessed and in monetary terms.
Okay.
And paid back into the consolidated fund.
I think it's worth noting, like Honorable Monaghi was saying.
Yes, sir.
You see, more pusong, Hamadia Kanaga 400 million, Kimakala Sherili, our Nasa by Yotola with Simulho. Okay, what's up to her like Dumalo and Honorable Monaghi. Ready Ryan thought that Tomamisori in future, we don't have this time and cost overruns, so that we don't lose this amount of money, especially that hurriedly we are operating in a period of scarcity, like somebody said. I and I think I would want to get information as ministries to avoid these huge losses of money occasioned by time and cost overruns. They are a real concern. I mean, as we go through ministries. We can go to the second one.
Okay, sir.
This project, was it a design and build method, or it was designed by another company?
Concept design, so it was a design and build.
It was designed and built, sir.
But the delays were not tabone. But where Babuanga design isn't there the necessity of le charge he has been given this project, you design it and build. Are you going to charge him the delayed time on his part or not?
Yes, sir, I indicated that there are charges related to the delays on the side of the contractor.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go to the second one. 400 million we are talking about. Let's go to the second one.
The second one is Kanye Sanitation, sir. The initial contract sum was 707 million. 46,930 pula 20 The revised contract sum is 3.4 billion. The project started in October 2017. The initial completion date was September 2019, and the revised completion date is July 2025.
So the
variance?
The variance?
You are saying 707 million against
3.4 billion.
3.4 billion.
Yes, sir.
But 2.7 billion.
No. The variance is how much?
2.7 billion.
The variance is 2.7 billion. Surely this would need a serious explanation. I mean, how does it happen? This is like almost how many times?
3 times.
3 times? No.
4
4 times.
times.
4 times. This obviously would require a very serious explanation. I mean, I don't think Kimoka Hito Angela, 400 million Komau, Yanu had 2.7 billion. What is the explanation? Is there any explanation?
Yes, sir. The explanation that we have is that there was a underestimation of the hard rock at the start of the project. The project is in Kanye. The consultant made an error at the beginning and rated the rock density in the area as 0.8%, while in actual fact the area is more rocky than that. So
and that accounts for the 3.4 billion difference.
Yes,
I mean, the 2.7 billion difference.
Yes, and other issues, sir. There were difficulties in accessing the servitudes due to properties that were along the servitudes. Some of the money within the project were funds that were used to compensate people moving them, and some damages of the property. It's not 100% of it going into construction.
I know you can explain, like you are trying to explain, but can you speak to the 2.7 billion and say whether or not it's realistic to make such a mistake? Or evidently here there is something going on, something fishy. I'm very choosy of the words I employ here. 2.7 billion variance. Can you speak to it? I don't think the explanation you have given that there was a mistake that caused government 2.7 billion in a project that initially was supposed to be 700 million. Can you speak to this difference? I mean, to say that there was a hard rock and the contractor thought it was a soft rock, I don't think this is.
Chair,
Honorable Thousand, you have.
I don't know how I can put this, but now, if the director is here, nanga kopa gore a tse oath re mmotse dipotso. Because you know what, I'm suspecting that
Honorable Thousand,
er,
I think I agree with you.
because
I think he must come here and explain.
exactly.
There are a lot of problems in this country. Hape ha lategile, Honorable Nare, o ka re go lategile dinekere. Ha go re sepe hela. And there's so much suffering going on mo lehatsheng la rona.
Kapegana Chairman, Arasa hit this issue on the back. I want to open happy. O tla tswang go morago ga rona aba a dira kgakolo tseo ampo dikgato tseo. So ke dumana le wena gore a totela re tse seriously.
I agree with you. Director, the person who was responsible for the project,
Because the justification is the consultant, the accounting officer, it was found the canal is rocky, and like these are the things that could have been picked at the initial stage of design.
that is the question. That's the big question. Right. Chuba Mike Wikane. Kuana Director,
Technical services.
Director Technical Services.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Utansala Moraho. I
I, Kabayamiti Muraitoko,
swear by Almighty God
swear by Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
before this Committee of Parliament
before this Committee of Parliament
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing else but the truth.
and nothing else but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You are on oath. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Maikelelo ke gore o re hitise ka project ya Kanye. Initially it was costing 700 million, and the figure escalated to 3.4 billion, and the variance is 2.7 billion. Hela go simolla gore tota ga go diragetseng gone o re bolelle story sa lona go simolla hela le doro a tsone di ITT ya kere ke tsone Thousand go tsena ha re leng teng gompieno.
Thank you very much, Chair. This project, where the cost came from, indeed there was a serious underestimate of the geotech. Like Pierce rightly put it, it was estimated to be 8% as opposed to well above 80%. So the area predominant, everywhere you go in Kanye, it's rocky. But this omission was done during the design, before the actual start of the project.
Sorry, who was doing the estimation?
It was conceived by the ministry, but we appointed the consultants to do the review of the design.
No, I mean, who was doing this estimation, 0.80%?
It is the the consulting firm. But of course, they submitted to the ministry, who endorsed the...
Is the consultant firm?
It's a consulting firm.
It's a consultant engineers.
Yes, sir.
We're talking about engineers here.
Yes, sir.
So this engineer made this mistake, 0.8%. Well, in fact, it was 80%.
Yes, sir.
Well, are you sure this was an engineer or a social worker, maybe?
No, by then, the engineers were under the same discipline. They were engaging like the consultants in the field of environmental, geotech, at the moment, as of now, the engineers are like environmentalists are set aside. But because this was an old during the period which everything was done under one consulting firm, the engineers engaged Geotech. It was Analytica who did the Geotech study for them.
How do you justify this mistake? Are you able to justify it and say, yes, indeed, it was an innocent omission or an innocent mistake? Can you justify it yourself as we speak to you? You are an engineer.
As we speak, I would say it's unjustifiable, sir.
Yes.
Yes, because
Okay, go ahead, sir.
I was saying it's unjustifiable because if you get to the ground, right away it will tell you that everywhere you go, whatever you will try to do, you are going to hit rock. In fact, rock even come to the surface. You don't need to try and excavate. But by then, this omission occurred, but it was not picked. I mean the reporting.
You say it was unjustified.
Yes.
That's your own ways. It was unjustified.
In my
You cannot justify it.
In my opinion, sir, I think it is unjustified.
What may have occasioned this mistake in your view?
I would say, Mr. Chair, during the implementation when this project was done, it was during the time when I think probably there was kind of a competition in implementation of project. This project, I should state, Mr. Chair, that it was conceived under sanitation and waste management. This is a long time back, and then it was transferred to the Ministry of Minerals, who actually did the implementation of the construction. But it was conceived from sanitation and waste management. But of course, when it was transferred to Ministry of Water, the review should have been really given enough time to look into it, to review it further. But that was omitted, say.
Through Chair.
Omission ya magnitude o kana kana kidi professional. Don't you think there was some ill motive, some chicanery, some corruption, theft going on here?
Mr. Chair, my opinion would be, well, someone can, if we look at it like now, because we don't know what was happening by then, but one may be inclined to think along those lines to say maybe, because when we try to query what really happened here, the issue was that there was pressure, the project had to be started immediately.
Through Chair. Agree, engineers are regulated again. And in any field that is regulated, this will be malpractice. So have you reported this to the engineering regulatory body, or these engineers malpracticed? Because if it was a doctor, somebody would have died. How ya ngaka orarnya sukirinya na go ki 0.8%, they can still go 80%. That's death again. So ne ke batla go botsa gore a mille repotile batho ba go the engineering regulatory board for malpractice.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Indeed, engineers are regulated through ERB, but because we are still, the project is still ongoing, sir, we are still continuing to investigate what exactly could have happened. But the ultimate way forward is to take it further. Even as we do the end of activity report, we will also submit to the ERB, like the honorable member is saying, to say there have been malpractice in here.
Yeah, Chair. You can. Who initiated the project for starters? Is it the ministry? Wahahu Kananya?
Mr. Chair, the project was not initiated in the current ministry. It was initiated from Sanitation and Waste Management. It was a different ministry, sir. That was then, what was done at Mewa Minerals. And sanitation projects were done at, what is the ministry? Environment. Yes, sir.
So you didn't do any audit on this project, like kama ho kwa gago kama ntwa ha hela you were very clear gore tota hela even a layman knows gore kanye ke majwe hela. And what do you think happened? How would someone designing a project of this magnitude skip this visible situation? Was it deliberate?
This was deliberate. Right?
Or what do you think? And as an engineer responsible for the project right now, with all your expertise, I mean, what do you think your consultants, what do you think of them? Have you put anything to them, or one of these escalated price means the ministry doesn't have money? Or at least by the time you discovered this, why didn't you stop the project and start afresh? If it can come to this, it's as good as you could have stopped the project, find time, redesign, and then start tendering again.
Gape gongwe o iso arabe kana molao wa procurement ga o little variation e than 25%, and this is more than 100%. So lona le dirise molao he gore le approve variation e kana ka.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will attempt the first question and then finish off with the last. Indeed, because the question was, what is my opinion, my view on this? My opinion in this case was, because from the very beginning, what we should have done when we started, we should have given enough time to seriously investigate, review the design, whether the implementation will be appropriate, the design will meet what we are putting up as a tender. I would say this omission had a very negative implication, because if we compare this to Maungse, in terms of the kind of the scope of the work, the number of kilometers that we have done in Kanye is around 600 kilometers, almost, to lay these pipes. But we are digging, some we are using explosive to blast this hard rock, because I should have stated that we are using two types: gravity, which requires us to dig, and the vacuum, which goes shallowly. And then if we compare this to Maunse, I would say the price, the very estimate that we went to tender with, was very, very low. If we compare the previous tender that we discussed earlier on, the Maung, is not that rocky. Of course, there are some hard rock.
Are you justifying this mistake?
I'm
That
trying-
the rock mistake?
Yes, to say the 707 was an error from the beginning. Had we done the review of the design, the geotech, so what we did wrong was to go ahead and implement without giving enough time to review, so that we do thorough check into the geotech. Otherwise, had we done that, we would have known, we should have seen that the 707 was an underestimate.
But
Chair, if
can
I may ask,
Honorable,
Yeah, well, thank you so much. The question was, now that this is beyond 700, beyond the allowable threshold of 25.
400% million.
Yes, sir. There was an attempt that we did in 2019 to try and stop, to cancel this, and then we either cancel and reappoint the same contractor or a different contractor. But if we looked into the contract, there was a clause, say, that when we looked into it, it was going to attract more costs. It was very expensive to terminate that contract. But we did seek advice from the then PPADB to say, look, we are here, we have exceeded the threshold. We would like to start all over, terminate and redo it afresh. But the guidance was that, okay, go ahead and do the needful. But we didn't win on that. But because mainly the issue was The termination clause that we are looking at was giving the contractor more, the amount of money that we needed was really much more than what we would have desired.
If one may ask,
Honorable Kekgonerile.
you are saying you are still investigating, but from your statement, it's very clear what happened. It's very clear that you have evidence. It's very clear that there was malpractice. Why are you not reporting now? Why? What is it that you are investigating further when it's very clear that there was malpractice? Why are you not reporting the engineer, the consultant to the regulatory body?
Thank you very much. Yes, I think that we can do right away. But normally we would want to attach this to the end of activity, but like you are putting it straight, say, this can be shared with, we can share this with the ERB. Because there is a list, of course, of the engineers who were involved.
But that should also include your own engineers who are supposed to have reviewed it. Again,
Yes.
not only the contractor. The contractor, the design engineer. Even your own engineers, because they are being paid to be, and the engineers that are supposed to be regulated as well. Then can contract PPADB cancelled. The contractor court. So do you have the reasons why Lanta PPADB cancelled the contract?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, it's true. This contract was awarded through the courts of law, but I would have to get some information as to why it had to be reinstated, so that I be precise, if you allow.
The last one, Chair.
Can you allow
The last
him
one,
to finish?
yeah. If from the onset, the initial stage, you would have realized that it's not 8%, it's 80%, what would have transpired? Would you have continued with the project, or you would have cancelled the project?
Thank you so much, sir. If we would have done like the honorable member is saying, we would have stopped, cancelled totally, and start all over. But we didn't do this, Mr. Chair.
Honorable
Thank you. Kore, I can write sorry back at 2.4 billion.
variance of 2.7 billion.
Yeah. Kore billion. Yeah, no. Lona the first, the initial estimate in house. I can release Lensa project. Lona estimate or a canabokaya care. Lona nearly estimated so okay. My first question, following one. The one that was nearly estimated Sabokaya land. Well, it would have warned nearly estimated Sabokaya.
Thank you, Chair. I will have to check this one.
No, but that's unacceptable. Korware, you are literally investigate again. You are working on it. I don't know real.
Yes, sir.
But if you are working on something, then you must be having your facts, no fingertips. Korware, le wena hela officer. Ha gona le variance e kalo kalo. La robetso se go gakola gore me rona ka nne re estimate se bokana. Na gore I fail to understand gore wa itse bereke gore mentele ba grele. Gore you have a project and you're an engineer, but you can't even remember gore initially your contract cost ne le bokae. Maybe le gona le issue ka yone gore go nnile le cost overruns about more than 2 billion. I think but le haida sengwe ke ntse utela ke le file kra ke re wena kra la officers. I think chairman officers are hiding something from this committee and from the public. Not all of them, but some of them are hiding information deliberately. And we're talking of 2.something billion here. That has gone
It's not 2 point something, it's 2.7 billion.
2.7
It's
billion.
700 million on the other side of 2. 2 billion.
That came from government to a company. Got 2.7 billion. How can cash hela o ba tsenya mo room ya go tlala hela madi?
Even when you talk in terms of schools,
Chairman,
How many schools would have been built?
accounting officer. Here is a situation.
Yes, sir.
Lona, le dirile eng ka yone hela kgotsa go ntse go siame hela gore mo Botswana hela ga gona molato ke ra seemo kise.
This project is at DCC.
It's at DCC,
Yes, sir.
reported by yourselves.
Yes, sir.
Le reportile ni.
It's close to a year now.
So ke yone kgato e le tsere
Error.
ne le reporta le bona gore ka re gona le matlhasedi kgotsa a gore gona le tshenyo.
The cost escalations, it's a netting.
Ma?
Ne re bona di cost escalations tse di hatlang.
Ehe.
Error.
Ba ba ne ba le involved ba ba ka hata se ga gago. A ke re gona le go reporta kontraka ba ba ka hata se ga gago ba ba ne ba le involved. Where are they?
They're still in the ministry, sir.
Any salary every month
Error.
after losing 2.7 billion of government funds.
Error.
Go siame hela.
I see a mahela say, I await the report.
In serious jurisdictions, many people have lost their jobs here. If we are serious, we can't allow this. We're not having to report.
Error, the whole project. Error. Yes, sir. That's why he needs to have a conang. Error.
Government
Don't think you could
a
advise us.
lot of money. I think this project is an eye-opener.
I take it Hore, the ministry was headed by the minister, and the country as well had a president. Were they informed about this variation?
Minister wana kweo le tautona ba itse le matona ntse change yana ne ba ntse ba itse ka seemo se.
I cannot go to the level of the head of state, but the minister in the ministry was aware.
Or the minister was informed.
What was his reaction, and what action did he take?
Yes.
Well, the minister was informed, Chair, of this, and then at some point, even he was shocked at the amount of variance that had occurred in Kanye. And then, in fact, he instructed that the project should come to an end, should be completed. There was some point where he indicated that the project, we should look into whether it has to be terminated or what. That's when I earlier on indicated that we had made some attempts to terminate the project. And then when we looked at the exit clause, that's the one that hindered us.
Me wa lemoga gore go dirwa mistake o motona termination clause le yone e dira gore go nne thata gore go terminate. Wa bona gore mo is designed to cheat. Wa bona this is a design to cheat.
Gape kana chairman a ke re ba ntse ba duelwa kana chairman, this 2.7 billion was not paid ka one certificate. Kore, even though you realize or some chicanery is happening, you kept on honoring certificate after certificate until it accumulated to 2.7 billion. And then we are investigating after you yourselves have honored the certificates.
Honorable members, Leutule,
Hello, Mbeki would say, Honemi, Gaure, as per the construction. This 7.4 billion. Are you sure project data really at a completion stage completely? This figure will remain at 3.4. Don't you think there are chances? And what action have you taken to the consultant? Ghana in construction, a consultant in this case, the longer the project takes, the more the consultant make money. The more the consultant make money. So what action have you taken more by this? This 3 billion. Are we sure? Yahweh 3 billion, at least Yahweh 3.4 billion.
Thank you, Chair. We cannot say with certainty that it will be this much. It can go up, it can go down, because in the event the contractor, like we have created access for the contractor, in the event he doesn't finish within scope, we have now the chance also to charge him liquidated damages. Charging him, which means now he'll be responsible for his own cost.
That is not my question. What I want to establish here, probabilities of if I'm talking about as per the estimate, the quantifier, and in monetary terms, it came to 3.4 billion. What I'm saying, I'm not gonna how bill. Is this amount going to be the final amount? Some other variations or so. Karena director, kore sekali kamu sili establish kore. Kana lizenya bokola na bala na matati. Ben kore khase, they are not engineers like you. They are administrators. And if tiro hita hata saka kako, uli engineer insejana, ibero kamo so PAC, kwaraba your accounting officer. This is something else. I think you guys must really pull up your socks. Because otherwise, this money in construction, I know it might even go beyond this. As a completion year, your completion certificate might be more. Yes, it would be lucky for in the quota say this amount. And the exit clause, it was deliberately. How was I not contract? Ministry, which I think our lawyer, as super no, this clause, Hayek Tamarane Lekaha contracting Singati.
Ketsago ribuile. Me se clear accounting officer gore. Ho hamadia puso. This is just one example, one case, and I think in this our books there are a lot more cases. Super center hore. Hagon go tsamaiwa go buiwa ha gore madi a puso a hedile. A gre le bone motho bo dika o madi a tsana mo gone. Kira honorable members. Ko ne motho bo dika o neo o madi a helela mo gone. I reng ko morago ha go te metsi ko mo lepolole ha go te metsi ko semolale metsi ko kae gatnya ha gona madi a tsenea ala ga go logela honorable members gore mo parliament hitileng ne ra dima 3 billion go pension ya batla puso me 3 billion yo mo ke yo ene go tsamaile 3 billion has gone to waste ala ga go logela go re 3 billion yo le ene o re mo adimile o ka nna tsamahela ka tsela ene but go bo hello le ha re bua le engineer re bua le accounting officer wa supagala hore this thing to them is not a scandal. Wa supagala hore is normal loss of money by government. Nna ne ke re accounting officer di kgato tse hetse o di tsere gompieno mo kgang ya mohuta one o go ka nna ga di a lekana. Dikgato tse le di tsereng ga di a lekana ke a utlwa gore DCC ba re lena le batho in house ba bane ba le teng go dira ditiro tsonetse nna ke kopa gore le tse dikgato tse di tshwanetseng on this issue ha nko hela go tshwaga yone e le reng ya engineer registration board le ta reporta go yone le ha ntse le ise le report go ta ra gore le tshwaga le lo reporta ko. But over and above that, I think this is a matter that we must revisit. I don't think we can just shout monitor on this kind of thing. Even now, not when such amounts of money are lost. And this is just one case. By the end of these examinations, Harka Company Madia are running into billions. I think, County Officer, some of us are taking this as a very serious matter, a scandal at that, that should be investigated.
Yes, sir.
Serious matter. The third one, the first one we lost 400 million because of time and cost overruns. Now 2.7 billion. Let's hear the third one.
The third one, sir, is Chopong South, Phase 2 water project. The contract sum was 291.
This is Chopong.
Chopong South, Phase 2.
Chopong South, Phase 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The contract sum, the initial contract sum was 291,447,953 pula. The revised sum was 334,756,740 pula, with a variance of 43,308,787 pula.
Variance is 43 million.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I can
It was started in November 2020. It was supposed to be completed in May 2022. The actual completion date was October 2022.
Thank you. The time and cost overruns, but it has also revealed something else. Re bua ka madi a seo mo tshwana re a bona kwa yang teng re dumela gore ka gore ebile go na le tsone bo ga temang kana forensic audit re dumela gore gongwe di tla goroga gone re ke go nna ka tshologelo gore di tla goroga gone mme internally Madam Accounting Officer,
Yes,
I think
sir.
something big ought to be done.
Yes, sir.
Ke ne ke bua kgantele ke ne ke rumulana ka bomo a ke tsora nkutule ke rumulana
Error.
a ke rumulana ne ke re go na le account office yo mongwe na re ene wa tswa ko lephateng lele corruption ya teng ha e kana ka sepe motho o na bua nnete ene account officer wa teng na bua nnete o di so na bua nnete
Error.
o na bua nnete
Aish.
Che.
Che.
Ne re rongwe re bankanye sengwe kana kgantela accounting officer o rile ba phitse Ngojane, but court order e supa gore ga la phila Ngojane netane high court ga ya le granta leave of appeal e grantile di company tsa ma China ha le gore a re ga la ya phila. It might not make much difference, but we wanted to state gore ga la phila Ngojane.
Hey. Er.
Sir,
Tshwanetse wa kgala mo go e ya ga rights nna ne ke ne ke wetseela ka gore go na le account officer yona a bua gore corruption e le kwa ke e boitshegang ebile ya swabisa batho ba bana le tswalo a se ba o ka tshelang le bone mme ke raya gore ga gono molato la o sa e arabe mme gone ga ya go nne ya lokile ya buega yaanong ya nnojane e tsamaya
no, Janice, the High Court was not the court of first instance. So they went to High Court, and the decision was that they be awarded. So for us to appeal to High Court, we had to write to the judge who released the decision to grant us so that we can appeal. It was not granted, but from what I have been told or taught is that whether it's granted or not, we go ahead and appeal. The mistake is if we go ahead and appeal without first seeking that request. So we have appealed, sir.
nya ba ke tsaya gore la ditwa dikgang tse our country has been taken over by bad people who can
What's our hello, comrade? Grazie. For a cover, I want to come. Le hazal nama di company dia kolutiwa. Ami to rezi tedi project ze dia kolutiwa. Kama tone di siam hadi kolutiwa. Like you neko kanye kolutiwa buka.
ma
Yeah, Kuluti was there, but we don't have the exact amount.
Lekan di rebatela di amount sate.
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay.
Thank you.
azor Friday le monele mokwaledi wa rona mokwaledi wa buka gore nna yaanong se se supagalang gore ga ya gona madi yaanong ke gona re simolola go bona mothala gore madi a senyega ka tsela ntseng and ga o akanya gore batho ba lefatshe le ba tshela jang o bona tsone di emo tshwanetse o ipotsa gore tota ra kae but ke tsa gore buile le utule ra re ditshwetso ga di a lekana ra utlwa gore ko DCC ra utlwa gore ta ko ERB hela jalo mme gote mo le ka go kgona mo le ka go dirang please do it. I guess also this is a serious candidate for forensic audit as well, I guess. So are tsweleng pele batho betso e ne le yone hela e ne re le bartele ka yone a re tsene mo dibukeng tse the memorandum of progress re simolola hela ka yone ya ntlha ba ngwaditse ba go bata ngwaditse ba go batla rra ne ke re tswelele technical advisor what are leader I have just the first one gonna le kgang
Yes, page one.
page 1 memorandum
memo.
of progress ya matuaneng puso ya rekile ke re o re tlhalosetse hela gore gate go diragala eng tota te matua te o thubiwa memorandum of progress
Page one, memorandum of progress.
Is it like
This one, not that one. The smaller one.
part? It's written part 1 at the top, right? This one inside.
Part 1.
Part 1. It's
Page
written
1.
part 1. And it's 120 paragraph 128. Government office block in Khale View, in Khale Muse actually. Gore go lebega go ne le gona le dikago kitse tse di neng tsa rekwa dikago tsa teng di lebega nne tsa ska ga tsamaya sente ya le ta thubiwa ya go re tlhalosetse sente ya la re tere heta ka yona.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. These are buildings in Khale. They were purchased by government in 2006 to be utilized by government departments. The buildings were not fully utilized as was anticipated because they had structural problems that were later experienced. So in 2016, which is 10 years later, Cabinet decided or advised that the properties be disposed of. And as a ministry, we tried various ways of disposing this. We advertised them at different amounts after evaluation, but we did not attract any bidders. In 2022, we changed strategy and then auctioned them, but still, after floating, we could not attract bidders. The option that remained, because these are not habitable, was to demolish them and maybe sell the piece of land and not the properties per se. But even the demolition, we could not go ahead with it because upon consultation on how much the demolition of these buildings will cost, the estimated amount was coming to 100 million, which we thought it's
100 million was for the demolition.
just for the demolition, which is more than the value of the properties. And the properties have been valued with structures and barren land. The total value for the developments only excluding land is 54,569,206 pula 56 tabe. And the value for the land is 30,382 pula 382,446, giving a total value of the properties and the land to 84,951,652 and 56 tab. There is a company that has shown interest of purchasing the properties, and after they shown interest, there were 2 more companies that came on board. But these 3 companies, all of them are not citizen-owned. So as a ministry, we could not maybe use the unsolicited procurement method that is in the Procurement Act and sell these buildings to these 3 bidders for them to compete with them because they are not citizens. As per the Economic Inclusion Act, Section 8 of that Act, it advises that citizens be given the first preference when things like this are being done. So where we are at the moment, Mr. Chairperson, is we are with these 3 companies that have shown interest to procure this. But the only option we have is to seek approval from Cabinet, which we can do in the cab of a CAB memo, to allow the ministry on behalf of government to sell these buildings to non-citizens, because we have tried all avenues. They are not attracting bidders, especially citizens. This is where we are. Thank you, Chair.
What will be the loss to government, so that we keep on adding on to the millions that are lost? What will be the loss to government? Or what is the loss to government up to now in this project?
I'll have to get the original procurement sum, say, because obviously this valuation was up after dilapidation, so it has depreciated. Because they have dilapidated.
So the loss is obviously much more than the amount shown here.
I believe so, sir. Because they are not in the same condition they were when they were purchased in 2006.
Honourable members, there is an issue, again, loss of government, the money. Yeah, we want an update next time. You want leave to sell to.
Yes,
to seek
direction from
permission to.
Yes.
To sell to
non-citizens.
Yes, because it does look like citizens are not interested.
Through you, Chair. How long has this process been going? Because the Nasare get an amount of it's a place that I know very well. How long has this process been going? And cabinet when it's October no heta. When it is a leva kin says the level scalaba approach and one hurry. Let's say you process what I'm with.
So I don't have the date of when the buildings were vacated due to structural problems, but I do have the date that in 2016, that's when Cabinet was approached to request to dispose. I can look for that date. But between 2016 and now, we have been doing all these processes that I have mentioned, trying to advertise, engaging auctioneers, and with in vain. Yes, sir.
Yeah, me outwards I acknowledge our name or happy kita tegalo etona. Ya madi ya puso.
Yes, sir.
Longore harenserere harna madi mo tswana purchase makhwakwa madi a hela ka motho
ne the regular bokae me originally the buildings on it.
When are what the information are you going to give it to us now or
I just a director outline, but otherwise we can bring it before end of day today.
Hansai Bata. Actually,
Okay, we'll memo that.
just hold. The man from Kanye wants to say something.
Yeah, thank you very much. It would appear that some of these structures, like this, where there is maintenance, less security provided, so there's still money at the receiver. Does the same apply with this particular place?
There is no maintenance incurred. There's no maintenance ongoing in these structures. The cost that is incurred is of security. The same security company that we have engaged at the ministry headquarters is extended there. Yesterday we were preparing to come here. We were to calculate like how much really is spent only on that building. We can provide that.
Please do.
Yes.
Are you going to, how much are you spending that side
For security.
For security, yes.
We can provide that, say, by looking at the number of security guards that we engage in a day, and then we calculate.
ba batla go checkiwa ka gore jaaka bua go halange go bona la security ha so gongwe ya no ba se ba tsa advantage ya gore after all ga gona ope e be ba sa deploy batho ba security gona. I don't know gore le ka ba checka ka tsela e ntseng but ga go go nna le security gone ha motshegare bosigo go tswana he
Metto ite honorable.
Noted, sir.
Matoteng. Re ka tswelela.
We'll memo that. So let's go to page 2. We close paragraph 30. Page 3.
You have something?
No,
Closed. Page 3 we memo. Then page 4 it's dealt with. And 5 dealt with. 6 top tables dealt with. The bottom table we memo 4, number 4. The rest we close. 7 we close.
6.
Part 2.
6.
Page 6. Page 6 I said we memo number 4. The rest are closed. 7 they are closed. And page 8 dealt with. And 9 dealt with. 10 and 1 is dealt with and 5 is dealt with, the rest are closed. 11 is dealt with and 12
Accountant
is
General.
dealt with. Give me a second if there's anything.
remove.
13 is dealt with, and 14, we memo the first one, we memo both of them. We're done with the memo. Let's go to the
Done with
Auditor
memo,
General.
let's go to the response to the Auditor General.
Let's go to page 1. Accountant General, have they been transferred?
We can memo it, Chair.
Okay, we memo the whole table. Page 2 we memo. Three, we close the first one, we memo the others. 4, we close the first one, we memo the rest. 4, we close, I think the other one is a continuation. We close Rapwall, we memo the other one. Then we go to the revenue results. Unless our Honorable have anything to say, it goes up to...
Revenue results. Accountant General.
Honorables, if you have anything to say, but it goes up to... I won't go page by page, unless you want me to go page by page.
No, if you can...
The revenue estimated was 4 million. They collected 2. Yes, million, and underestimate of 2 million as well. Well, they're different. Anyway, let's go.
I think you can go.
Five is monitor. 6 is monitor. 7, we monitor. 8, we monitor. 9, monitor. 10, we monitor. 11, we monitor. What are these penalty? Like 11. What are these penalty fees? Revenue. Or for plots, you shall not pay for. Page 11. Penalty fees. Kids are.
Page 11.
Yes, ma'am.
Finance Director.
Okay.
When one is allocated a plot by government and they transfer it with under 10 years, there's an amount that they pay between the purchase price and the market.
Okay.
Yeah.
Page 12. We monitor. 13. We monitor. 14. We monitor. 15. Monitor. 16.
Let's go back to number 11. There's something that I need
Okay.
clarity on. It's a charge issue. I mean, the narrative isn't sufficient. Page number 11. The comment, yes, a charge. Yaga Mudikwa. Yes. Such as made to Mr. Mudikwa for maintenance of a pool house. He was staying in. Where was he surcharged? The house belongs to the pool.
Yeah, something.
With this one, through you, Mr. Chair, I can't recall exactly what could have transpired here, since I was obtaining this information from the departments. So I can be able to provide this information. I can be able to provide this information after this meeting or on Friday.
Yeah, because the use of the word surcharge,
Yes.
insofar as I've noticed, Kwano,
Yep.
it is an action that follows some
Disciplinary. process.
disciplinary action or some misuse of funds. But an officer staying in a house and you maintain it and you surcharge leaves a lot of answers, questions unanswered.
It has been noted, sir.
But what usually happens, maybe just to give guidance, in cases of pool housing, when either the government or the BC maintains, if I say, yes, I broke that window, then I will have to be liable for such payment. So those are instances you don't need to go through the disciplinary process of coming to a surcharge. It will be me saying that, yes, I broke that window, I break that door, so the charge comes to me and not the government.
We may.
Okay.
Yeah, we may proceed.
We're at 16, we
16.
monitor. 17, we monitor. First table is page 18. It's monitor. And page 19, the projects. Those are the ones which are at Annex AA. I think Leboni Annex AA. Monitor.
Page
19. 20 we monitor. 21 monitor. 23 we monitor. 24 we monitor. 25 we monitor. 26 we monitor. 27 we monitor. And here they're talking about the supplementary estimates. Okay. During the year, they had financial paper 2. This one was okay. And they're just showing the projects which are allocated for the supplemental. Unless you have any questions, we'll go to the next page. 29, that's statement 3, we monitor. 30, we monitor. 31, we monitor. 32, we monitor. 33, we monitor. 34, monitor. 35, we monitor. 36, we monitor. 37, monitor.
Can I get clarity on this one?
Yeah.
Let me take you back a bit. To 26. Page 26. The figure that was earlier discussed, you're nearly the figure that appears here.
Page what?
Page 26. Mokanye Sanitation.
Page 26 is showing for the year. From 2021-22.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
If you go to the annex, that's where you get more details about what the cost is. To the annex AA.
Okay.
Yes. Page 38, it's monitor. 39, monitor. 40, we monitor. 41, we monitor. Then we go to the retention. Accountant General, unless you stop me if you have something. 42, we are all clear there. Monitoring. Huh? That clear there.
Yeah. Except the last one.
Except the last one. Oh, except the last one, which is a monitor. And for 43, the first two have been cleared. And the 108809 has been cleared. The rest are monitor. (44) monitor. 45 we monitor. 46 we monitor. 47 we monitor. 48 we monitor. 49 monitor. 50 monitor, and 51 we monitor. I think 52 is just a continuation from the next page. Income tax, They're all monitors. 54 monitor. 55 monitor. 56 cleared.
Sorry. Go page 55. Akere. It's cleared, but it's cleared, but in a monitor.
Okay, it's cleared here. I did say clear.
Okay.
56 is monitor. Maybe I could ask Aka Habitat working as a receiver. As a receiver.
I can look at 55. Larry cleared. And monitor.
Cleared.
55.
Cleared.
Has after cut-off date.
Is it after? Okay, it's fine.
Okay.
What's a Habitat working as a receiver?
We'll provide the information, madam.
Okay, it's a monitor anyway. Monitor. Page 58. Monitor. 59 we monitor. We close the bottom one. The rest we monitor. 60 we monitor. I think the top table is just the balances from the previous page. And the bottom page, we memo. Go on. Yes. Then 62, we close Maposa, Lucky, and Lucky. The rest we memo. Maposa, Lucky, and Mokoko, we close. The rest we memo. Yeah, 40, we still need to adjust it, but we will close it here. But you still need to adjust it. 63, we memo. Yes? 64 is just a continuation of that table. 65, we memo. And 66 is cleared. '67 monitor. We monitor statement 22. Okay, just in case I miss it. And we go right to 71. I think Mong gives just explanations. 68 we memo. 69 is just the write up, okay, the pages. We go to 71. We memo. And Robert, is it after cut-off? 71.
It's within.
Okay, so cleared. Recovery of overpayment of salaries. The first one is cleared. The second one is cleared. The third one is cleared, and the fourth one is cleared. We memo the bottom one. 73, they're all memos.
Like more P72, give one of the more killer. What they are declared in financial year 22-23. Was it within?
Is it
the
within
financial year or not? After cut-off date or
page
within
72?
the
Check
financial
out, are
year.
they within?
It is within, sir.
No, what I not clear, I agree. How would they have hungry reach or
Okay.
the narrative should make me or iska both. Here, thank you.
Honorable Redi Chekile, we were satisfied that they are within. So,
75, the bottom page, the bottom one memo. So, let me go over again. 74 is just a continuation. 75 we memo. 76, the bottom one we memo. 77, the bottom one we memo. 78 we memo all. 79 we memo. 80 is just the write up. 81 memo, the first one clear. The next two are cleared. We memo the first, clear the second, we memo the others. 83 is memo. 85 is memo. Returned checks. Yeah, I see what one of the returned checks it's anywhere from institutions like the savings bank, and most of them from attorneys. Maybe people say, what is the problem? The thing is, look at the banking thought.
Correct.
So what, dishonored checks or
Chairman, this
Dishonored check.
this
Return checks.
dishonors.
return check?
The dishonored checks again.
So let's say the return from attorneys. Are they suggesting or a trust account?
I've seen what the transfer duty, but what I don't know is how can they check the bounce?
But my question is, for example, bounce.
okay.
Okay.
Through you, Chair, we can provide information on this one.
P2 or
For me, officer, let us Lona, let us through this document before let go. I believe you praise
Yeah. You are right, Honorable.
Yeah. So some simple questions will come back with the answer later.
Maybe I can
Officers.
assist because we receive instructions from client. Gantsi le dilwara di duetse transfer duty. So nako e leng gore they try and encash the checks ba itlhela gore the account does not have money. Ne kere ke di check tsa transfer duty. So gore nako e leng gore they try to encash them ba itlhela gore the account ga dina madi. And that's the advice which has been given to them. Gore kana is now a criminal offense. Gore nako ya di check tsa ntse di bereka. Gore ne ile criminal offense gore moto a go kwale check as na madi mo account, so they should maybe pursue the criminal route.
So who's the criminal here? The attorneys or the attorneys?
The drawer of the check. The drawer of the check.
Because the debtors are shown here as the bankali and the attorneys. So who?
O draw ile check. I know the check draw ile ke attorney. Ke the attorney which says is the attorney in this case.
And what would be surprising is that we have banks here. Can you say or check your bank? What we have here, we have banks. If you look at let's just look at number 2 because we have Botswana Savings Bank. It was for a purchase of a plot. So can we say Botswana Savings Bank?
The ones I'm talking about, are the law firm, because those are the ones referred to AGs, not the banks. I'm talking to the law firms.
So the law firms is the one you check out when it bounces.
Yes.
And you say by then it was a criminal offense to have your check bounce.
Well, just law firm. And then what about the banks? I mean,
I'm really good in really
what I
Any
tell
bank, or-
you, king what did you call? What did you call seats?
Agre banka kana gore gore madi o thamo bankeng ke a yone gongwe ba ne bana le account e leng gore they were drawing a check against and that account had no balance. It's possible.
Eh, because normally mo ko bank go call a bank check ya no. Akore ga kitla kwa gore e bounce tse ya.
e kore re botsa dipotso a be re apere diikarabe
Kana ke yone a ke gore ko di tshwanetse go arabiwa teng ba re bone ba tata ba batla information, and you asked a relevant question or tota mme ha le takwano la bo le ise le kgotsohatse ka gore gate go ga gona le finance director. Are you sure you are in charge here?
Say, kore se se diragalang hela just like Attorney General na thalosa. Kore di check tse di be di tswa ko di law firming di duelela di transfer duty tseo ya no se se diragalang ke goreng rona ha re tsana mo systemeng re investigate re ithala le gore madi a di check tse di bounce ka lebaka la goreng go bo gona le insufficient fund mo di accounteng tsone tseo tsa di trust fund.
Ha ile di lawyer ra ke ya no kana dia
Bona le di banka e.
ra di banka mo teng.
E be le check tse di tang di ha tse dingwe tse di check tse dingwe di taile goreng ha gongwe di tadina le signature e nngwe he ya no di thoka gore di be di na le di signature tse pedi ke some of the information that we pick mo di details tse be di kwadilwe mo systeming.
mme tota kore ga o re arabe officer, let's say ke na le company e bidiwang Tuto Attorneys. Some people. Okay. And then when I bereka mo go yone, you are the finance manager.
Ona so o le ka go ba thusa.
Ke le ka go mmontsha gore ya savings bank bothata
Eh.
e ne e le
I'm one second. Go go re ka nna le lesedi.
I can recommend that provide information from
Honorable members, I don't know that provide information. Okay.
Although they are saying they are still investigating.
No, but provide information. Ona mo re har ka ya go lebega ke tuka re ga ba tlhaloganye sentle go diragetseng.
86 there are all memos. 87 memos. 88 memo. 89 memo. 90 memo. 91 memo. Statement. Page 92. 92. You close the number 2. The others are memos. Page 93, they are all memos. 94, all memos. 95, all memos.
Excuse me. On page 95, maybe AG is in a position to shed some light, more updating our. The matter is before, the matter was referred to them, and what have they done?
Attorney General.
What is the status?
Yes, there's a matter where continuous negotiations, considering the amount, have been ongoing, but we've given up on negotiating. So summons was issued on the 25th of May. We've now since issued, because we saw that he was making promises and promises that they never bore fruit. So we've since issued a summons.
AG has issued summons. Are you okay, Honorable? Polo Holo? Are you?
96.
Chair, sorry, Chair. Ke kopa go busetsa go page 93.
93.
The top one, it should be closed. Number 4.
93, number 4 must be closed.
It's wakakwa kana. It's wakakwa kuror. Oh, okay. Sorry, closed. Okay, 95, page 95, we memo. Page 96, we memo. Page 97, we memo. 98, we memo. 99. 99.
98.
That's the.
98.
Yeah, no, what about 98, Honorable?
Close the first one.
The
And
second one, it says a demand notice was sent on the 19th of May 2023, and that's where it ends. It says, number 26, Alfred Chopong, a demand notice was sent on 19/05/2023, and that's where it ends. What is the status now?
This is the last update that we sent to the debtor.
Was the demand letter from you, or it was from Attorney General?
It was from the minister.
So no action was ever taken 2 years down the line?
As it stands with the update that I have, this is the latest update that we got from the department.
Is this action in line with practice, wrong, or somebody has been sleeping in their job?
It is not acceptable, sir.
So what is going to happen going forward? Because this, like you are saying, is not normal. What are you going to do from here going forward on the matter?
Sir.
I mean, what is the next step you are going to take as the finance manager, I suppose? What action are you going to take to recover the money?
We will continue to engage with the data, sir.
But you issued a demand letter 2 years ago. So how are you going to move forward? There was a demand letter, no response as per your commentary. Now we need specific action that you are going to take in making sure that you recover the money.
The usual practice is that we write to them. When they don't respond, we continue to write to them and call them to our office so that we can come and make an arrangement for a payment plan where they are having challenges with finances.
Would you not agree with me when I say you have failed to deal with the matter for 2 years? Perhaps the best remedy is to take the matter up to Attorney General to assist and deal with the matter.
I agree with you, sir, on that one. We will take the matter to Attorney General.
So the next plan of action is transfer the matter to Attorney General.
Yes, sir.
Through you, Chair, do you have an internal debt collection department who responsible or allete bone batho ba aba bitse a buele bone kana go tswa hela gore ke mang yo kutang go leta on that day?
Yes, sir, we do have officers who are dedicated to engage with our clients.
Normally, how long does it take you to upscale the matter to Attorney General? 2 years, 3 years?
I would say it depends on the circumstances. But under normal circumstances, we are not supposed to take 3 years, because after 3 years, the debt will be prescribed.
So you know it prescribes, eh?
Yes.
And we are now in the second year, handling the matter without taking it to Attorney General. Why each story is headed for prescription, but you are not taking appropriate action.
Re tla ipaakanya, sir.
Okay. Finance Director. Umosha. Ra? How long have you been there?
I can allow some months.
Ngwaga di kgwedi a se boša Finance Director. Ipaakanye sentle o. You can apply yourself to.
Chairman, I get to our
But I guess,
as an accountant, only thing in the system, you should be familiar with the system, how it works. So how are you newly employed as an accountant? How was you? I mean, how did you come to be the chief when you are newly employed? Unless also from another organization.
No.
But a year and a half, it's good enough for you to be able to respond to these reports.
Okay.
But I guess to his credit, Mr. Chair, he said the next course of action, he's referring the matter to the Attorney General. So the next time around, we want update on that.
I get another 100 pages to deal with. You know how at this page, Eri Khan, Holiberan, Sotele, Taipagai. Bachanto Bamusohanyerit. Can't do office, Alamusohanyerit.
No, sir.
The Omagana, whenever Parliament, when Mutawa, whenever Ongawa. I don't know listen to get the page. Kerawan or Hamu to one of Laterra Hela when about Baba would say put on Bile, Bangba Muletur Batoasia. Prisiam here. Already put you up to Chalevo.
899, we memo. 100, we memo. 101, we memo. 102, we clear 40 and 41. 42, 43 are memos. 44 cleared on page 103. 45 and 46 are memos. 47 we close. Page 104 we memo 50 and 51 and 52. We close 48 and 49. 105 we close 55.
Wait a minute. I think let's acknowledge the comments as made leave a lot. And if we were to poke at them, we'll probably spend the entire night here.
Yeah.
But we'll probably just look at the one with the high value in terms of Tsedikolotang. There's this one here I guess it's a matter that was referred to Attorney General in 2022, page 99. In 2022, follow-up was 2024, and the last one was 2025. And we don't know what the Attorney General has done with the matter. And for fear of the matter or prescriber and the amount I think AG should give us an update, status update.
Sir, this matter is a 2009 matter and only referred to AG in 2022. Lease agreement not signed, and we have long recommended for it to be written off. So it's actually a dead matter. It's a dead matter, sir.
That is a dead matter.
Mekana no go buile gore ga le sna go kudotse ha le sna go di bona le Attorney General ha le gore Attorney General feels gore ga go se tlhole gona le sepe se se ka se dirwang. We are supposed to initiate the right off.
So
I don't know
a dead
whether
matter for 278,000. Last follow-up was April 2025. And I mean, AG.
Gape one could ask gore ka gore di otse tsa lona di dintsi. Do you have motho Attorney General? Do they have? You have someone there at the ministry?
Yes, we do.
Kira gore di otse di akere di ka lebelwa le ene go bona gore what is still possible and what is not.
Between the Attorney General and the ministry. We hope such an arrangement could be there. Just that sometimes these reports come late in the day. I'll receive a report at 5 May. But the PAC is similar that week. You can't have that time. So we just hope that maybe going forward, we could meet before these reports come.
Okay.
Welcome back, Raibine. Raibine on Nanta Etsu Nabidi ko office ya tona ya tona. Uile. Awana le sepele ka se le baganya le.
I think through Chair. I get ready to Attorney General. I think har simola PC really go Chopong. Ne la bua gore kana maphata what they do is after this they ignore all these reports until we do a PAC. That's why the updating the ka bo April ba itse about the PAC. So maybe you can raise your voice a bit gore ba never follow these issues. Ba ska ba emela gore ba the PAC then be bataka information and already is not complete because they didn't have enough time to do follow-ups.
Ya bua nnete gone re ntse re le ka jalo mo kaolong ha ntso o seo me gora gore se ka ra ipona tsa ministry o mongwe le mongwe o tang re nne re ba gakolole gore go mo ga gore re bue dikgang gone ha accounting officer go le major e be le gore ha ile gore re tsena gape ka May o tang batho ba attenda dikgang ka April ha go re bereke gape a go supe gore le tsa yone PAC ka twa the examinations ke routine hela ke ritual hela e na idiro. That is why we have expressed a desire to get the PSP to come to the PAC. Hela go ta go bua le ena gore me ene role ya ga go thoma misa gore the accounting officers ka di fall under her. Anyway te abare ya renga PAC we ta barai a renga di case ya ombudsman ka ombudsman le ena wa lela a re ga ga ke go tswa ga ora rona le bolwetse hela ja lack of follow up in our business of government. So you are right, sir.
And through you, Mr. Chair, still on this one, I mean, to be told it's a matter from 2009, perhaps what we deserve to know further or in future, or what action was taken. Because the fact that it's a dead matter, it's quite evident, it's a dead matter. But somebody must be responsible, must take responsibility for matter. at least we deserve to be appraised on what action was taken. Whether it's a reprimand or a ying or retraining or whatever, but some action must follow some of these discoveries. Thank you.
Your guess is good as mine. I think nothing has ever been done. But anyway, we can, anything that you remember around what was done about the matter?
I don't recall anything, sir.
He doesn't recall anything. So what the message we are getting, honorable members, even if we can ignore it, the message we are getting is that batho ga ba tseitsia yone tiro ene. Ba direla puso ha ba tswa ha ba tsamaile ba ile dira tse dingwe ditiro ha ile ye yone ya go tlhokomela madi a puso le go bona gore batho ba duela ba ba kolotang puso. I don't think they take it serious. Can you say the contrary, maybe account officer? Or nya meletsa ka thohalo tota kganye ya gore tota tsone la phutha madi a puso.
So nkare re tsa ka tlhagalo kgotsa ga re tsenye lentswana ka ha mo go tlhagetseng, because we do have regular monthly meetings where the directors come and provide update on the issues. And at each department, there are officers who are assigned specifically to follow up on these issues.
But evidence suggests that there are no follow-ups. I grew out of the finance director. It was in Taylor Haiti. Good totan nete gore. You had it to a halo, Tediam Puso, good Lahamadia Puso Senera. A tota gore sepe. I think it's a little while, Hela and Weagore. Madia Senera, Serekaranga Sonagor, Aronato, Tadi Partizan, Kona has Senera mind. But Puso. Puso, I get our in Jam, while Munga pay la hala terila or sepe, a gonna get push. But the problem go hala terrajan, Baba, whatever I make. Golojam was a very was a Dirinja Karuna. This is very concerning. We hope to see an improvement. Ekahari Headland Katini Khan, Sediama Maria Push. Kind of officer, we hope to see an improvement on this very issue. Tokomela Madia Push. Harry Libile Hela Tota. Go sena thwahalo ha ke thwahalo ye ka le ba beditsa tseno right bine ra re go sena thwahalo wena wa re ore ya no me gore le thwahale go batla re dira jang rona re hirilwe ha gore re terne re dupa dupeha mme re bona gore ga gona thwagalo le ka re gakolola gore re reng gongwe o motho o teng gore gakololeo ka motsotso ke ra ha miking ha gore gakololeo re dire jang ka rena re hiretse gone gore re nne re dupa-dupe dibuka tse re bone gore gape go nna le thwaga. What can we do?
Chairman, tota ka ha re lebile gore dilo dingwe ga di tsamaye sentle mme go ntse go bonala mo di reporting tsa bo Auditor General mme ebile go sa latole gore ga dilo di ntse di sa tsamaye sentle. Se e leng gore se ka dirwa hela ke gore lona le committee kana le parliament le ka supa one matshwenyo ga le gone gore go tshwana gore go ba ka ngwe le gone go dirwe mo nakong yone ke ra gore ka gore PSP o teng molaetsa o ka tahela o thamaletse ka gore ke go mo e leng gore ke tiro ya mongwe le mongwe gore o ka ba akanya
ga go lwa go re bone PSP
nya gore ka gore kana you are constituted here le na le responsibility ya oversight ha gona le concern you would not be doing your duty by not raising it with the appropriate authority. And as far as the administrative side is concerned, our principal is PSP, and I don't see any difficulty with you raising the concern and asking for appropriate action should be taken, or the system, the administrative system, must make sure that these aspects, value is is being destroyed. You know, I just, it me.
Kore gone mme batho ba tshwanetse gore re ba target gore dilo di tsamaye sentle ke bo maselona.
But what's a happy say?
Ke ra ra se di accounting officers.
Yes, I believe yes, the accounting officer. There's a reason why they are called accounting officers.
I think so.
Yeah, you account, and we are here to account to the whole system.
Kana go ntse go na le di committee tsa PAC di ntse di thomagana jalo. I don't think ba ne ba sa observe di kgantse. Ne ba di observe, but nothing seems to have been done. Go lebega o ka re go twe ga go re sepe. Ya no mele gale re amogela kgakololo ya gago gongwe accounting officer o na le sengwe se se harologaneng re dire jang o to go bua dilo tse di controversial e o prefer gore bogolo se ka bua
ra
o kopa gore ke gakololle gore ba ire yang a ke rona re taskilwe ka gore re bone gore a tiro ya dirwa and ha tiro re bona gore ga e dirwe motho o re tshwantseng gore jaaka bona re ntse re ba apeile ka dipotso ya kana re apeile batho ba mme tiro tse go na le ba ba di dirang mme bile go na le bo head of department tse hela ka go tlhatlologana ga bone be ba fida bone ya no gore lo letse thupa bo director ba lona ba tla letsa thupa mo ba letsa go ba hidden di assignment. You know, reports, they don't mean anything when they come to you. Otherwise, some of the books, you'll find that it's like they are cooked. I mean, hello, Nabu accounting officers, let's say it's two atlas. You are failing your duties, the supervision. So, crack the whip.
Che, kana PSA water unaro akhela aso re mo he chance akhela are di controversial gongwe root gore controversy a te ke yongwe ka thusa le hatse
kana ngwe ka tsela hatse
e tla ne ka re ke tshaba tiro me go te ke accounting officer ke ne ke batla go bua in relation to what he has said and lead the action that you took earlier ya go tsisa director. Some of these votes, of course, it ka hatla sa harona ke rona re o kametseng di director, but director go department teng ya gago some of them ba na le di act tse leng gore ke tsone tse ba di dirisang ba di follow ka ha molao ba tsa di decision ka di act tse leng gore di ba establish the department ya gore so ha ya nongole accounting officer o ba go pusha accounting officer re mongwe because ke accounting officer ka act ai tshotse ke tira la definition ya me khotsa ke senya molao wa ga government we do try ka ke dumela gore ke nna accounting officer le leng gore o wa leka every month gore go tsiwe go tle go reportiwa ka PAC but o ka ka re betsa letlapa ka le leng I have gone ba ka ntsupela e se ka ba tlogare ba tsoga ba nkomanya tle ke na le go bua gore kana go botlhoko go nna accounting officer because o do ka bontsi di wela mo go wena you'll be trying by all means gore o push go nna bokete so kanyenne le dira ha khantile ke dumela gore e ka thusa to some extent me re sa re gore le rorele boikarabelo re le di accounting officer.
You know what is very frustrating about the whole running of government business? I had the minister in the past, not Baba Ompe. Jan, however, our kinti resa diri, bone, the minister. Bar matata ke lona, the account officer. Bar na le power mwe hakamata. Yano another general, power rate on a good director, banadi act sabo. So when I have a tone, or a lava supervisor, no, I believe one event one the power.
According to the act, it's said by established. On a little say long or director so and so can take action seconds on what we call act that don't host now pay when you're accounting office.
But do you have power to reprimand a director as a PS if the director is not following your instructions or doing things that are supposed to be doing. Ga ona power ya gore ka mo reprimanda kana wa mo kopela transfer kana wa mo kopela disciplinary kana wa mo koba mo tirong.
But Chair, I think maybe we are missing the point she's raising.
Okay.
Ke gore la ha ona le power e ntseng yalo, but the act e ra motho e re ke wena o tsaya tshwetso. Ha gore re ke tsere tshwetso as per the act. Ke dirile as per the act. Gongwe go bata go nne ha tsere bone gore how do we empower them? Ha ile gore act ga ya ba empower teng ha di directora di dirisang act e buang ka bone e sa batseng mo teng. Maybe that's where the catch-22 is. Kana what she's saying ke gore we are trying, but the director ha re di khone because they are empowered by the act go tsa di tshwetso tse ba di tsaya.
Mekana chairman
The director ha ba di khone ka gore no real le di khone. The director go di
go ba
supervisor ba bereke ka ditaelo tsa lona.
Ke ne ke arabile potso ya gare gore ga re kgone go di supervisor ke re kgona go ba supervisor ke ne ke bua sa ka some aspects in the act.
Chairman, we are derailing. Chairman, I think we are derailing.
That's fine, you can say what you want to say.
Yes.
No,
correct. The point is, the main contention here is Joseva Madia government. Full stop. I think so. Koro na le power e kana ka ngolo rileng narare a go save ya Madia government. Amadia ska nyelela ka ha anyelang ka teng. And then there is an accounting officer, more minister mo where the ball stops, the buck stops with him or her. Gora bona gore madi ga anyelele. Go tswa mo go yena gore wa save ya. I think I similar re a go gore director go rile go
re go tula se me ala khayeto na ne le gore gore you also want to appreciate the frustration that we are going through. Gore bona re bona tiro esa tiro re ntse re bua le ba bangwe ha mora go nyana tiro ga e dire ya ne re go ba ka re gakolola but ba re gakolola se ka ba re gakololang ka teng me hela go bohelong like you say accounting officers are accounting officers ha di do di sa dire ha madi a latlhega ka tsela ya latlhegang ka one rona re hela go accounting officer ke tsa gore a buile
nyami me ngwane ha che bira ga ibile akhir I think le rona ya ba re tshwantse re go nna tsirele ke go leba yone le yene ya bo director o itse re bo director ba le bantsi they let their PSs down ka gore ba na le dithata. I've seen this go transport, I've seen this go agriculture before you say gore mo gongwe go tla be go like I remember go agriculture there was a policy in a draftiwa ebe ibusiwa gongwe ke parliamentary kana ke committee gore tsama le go bankanya hale the next thing nothing was done until we busediwa gape ko parliamenteng entse jalo and that is the duty ya bo director yana ga kire me ya ka abua ba supervisor but the act o bara motho a hiwa ndithata ke molao teng ena gore kana ya PS le na morare ra tlhedira tiro ga gago aba are no na ke dira according to the act e be go hella ho me gone go sna madu
nyame re utule batho betso re utule director le tsone dina le mokgwa me go bohelong gompieno accounting officers le na le dithata ha ile gore le batla di okediwa le ka negotiator le ba ba oketsa dithata a ditso ke bahe me ba ka lokela tsa dithata tsa gore le kgone go acta mo bathong ba ba sa direng tiro.
Thank you. Na do ka re gongwe ke tae ke akanya ka go sela nna ke akanya ka re monagi gore there's an accounting officer lona le ntsha madi ko parlamente ga la ntsha go tswa go nna le warrant e sa kwaleng di accounting officer ra le 7 kana le 8 warrant e nna ngwe hele yang ko ministry e re beileng ha tsatsi je then go nna le sub warrant holders ba ene gore So on that basis, and based on what I understand, Attorney General Logan Nabuaga, in the Public Finance Management Act, the accounting officer has got to be able to cause direct a retiro, notwithstanding you've got to respect that as an accounting officer. But how as a major warrant holder, no, we can't say how say. Yes, issue but the moment so now I would say let's just agree accounting officer and then understand what can lead into hadiloa just ke analogy ni kore ha o le na le resources ona le tsone le ha le gore o ka tswa le wiki mo ga hona le madi a go reka marumo to no ntse ro until marumo a hela so ha di resources di hela ya ka di hedile ana no how go thola ntse o le ba kwa lekwa somebody here must take charge. And that's how I look at it.
County officers, the buck stops with you. The buck stops with you. Ha gona le bothata jana rona re leba lona lona ta bona re leba maya ka 1000 na bua morago nya ra le ga re tsmaru finance officer for this free lessons. I think we also want to appreciate the frustration that we go through. Rena le tiro ke re hirilwe mme o ka re ha e dirwe mme re ntse ra tsweletsela re hirilwe.
So, Mr. Chair, one piece of advice, I point out because perhaps all the comments demand a letter sent out by the panel Attorney General.
Yes.
So that we move forward and not ride around in circles over some of these matters.
I get a county officer. Yes, sir. But that's our road to Lino to Helele and Wamadi. We are not to explain this in what was a Madi. Capuana county officer.
Okay. Another recommendation that before has been, especially those it's about 2005 before thing. Those all the level where Attorney General. Booking because these things are permanent. Booking.
Thank you very much. So te hala di libi yo kano ita role di buka zeri tona. Nik ande motendi di role di khaya la tselo ka bonne sa tlo di mo di buke. Ya no encore liken tata ar tswelle technical advisor.
Page 110. Page 105.
105.
We close 55. The rest are memos. 106, we close 59 and 60. 58, we memo. 107, we close 63, we memo the rest. 108, we close 66, we memo 67 up to 70. 71, cleared. And on page 109, we close 72, the rest are memos. 110 are memos, 111 memo, 112 we close 91, and 92 the rest are memos.
100 and page 111.
Yes.
Q87 we close.
Okay.
What becomes Q84?
Okay, 112, we close 91 and 92.
No, I was asking a question on 111.
Number 84.
Number 84.
What's the question, Honorable?
The last line, the last sentence says, hence the amount will be corrected in the submission of arrears of revenue. What is the status? What is the status of this matter? It says the debt was erroneously declared before the PAC, and went further to state or it will be corrected in the submission of arrears. What does that mean? And what has happened?
You're talking to the finance director here.
Okay. Correct. What has happened here, Kahoring? Earlier, how declare the areas of revenue. There was a mistake where we include an error holdings for submission. So yeah, no, the practice is that how nale pauses in your lady raheting. Yar hal hodirwa submission ya another financial year. Ebe le gore le ka dira adjustment mo teng go ntsha that particular transaction mo teng. So it was just an error e diragetseng gore re be re mo declare.
You can go ahead, sir.
Does this mean the matter is closed or what? Auditor General, you may be in a position. Oh, sorry, Accountant General. The Rotla Holdings.
Error. No, kaha a tlhalosang ka teng, go rela gore they included it more reporting yone ya PAC, ba ne ba sa tshwanela go e tsenya. Therefore, they are supposed to pass an adjustment go e ntsha. Error. That's why here really came memo. Gore ba tla e bankanya in the next.
Is this not coming from the year under review, 2021-2022?
It's a memo, it will remain unless ba pass adjustment. I guess that's what I say. I was adjust why it will remain here.
Explain now why have they not adjusted?
That will see next year. Okay, let's proceed.
115. That all memos. 116, you close the first one, the rest are memos. 117, you close Q119, the rest are memos.
Can I just do my job? Let's go back to 116.
Okay.
Please do your job, Honorable.
It says 116, page 116, Unity of Time Pty Ltd. The comment there is that the writing off was initiated in 2024. Does that suffice to?
Yes, sir.
It was initiated in 2024 May. Has it been granted or
As the unit of
what?
time.
1 year later.
The unit of time matter. Finance Director.
On this one, I can't totally recall or currently I can't recall or currently that say or I may the relevant department have they initiated the write-off.
With all due respect, sir, were you involved in drafting of this?
Yes.
These comments?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Evidently, the finance director was struggling a little more empowered. Kiraka, the country, irrelevant one little libile. I get county office. In all the issues that are raised, he's in the dark. ke re nngwe le nne le mo thuse batho beso.
Kana challenge gore yesterday we had a finance director from Ministry of Lands who knew everything in the document, everything. And when we are botsa re bolela re kgang e tsamaya ka yana this one o le ba ga sa itse hela ele se.
Are you, Chairman, are you overwhelmed? Are you overwhelmed? Are you, this is serious, really. I go make what's a potso Chairman. A tiro e ntsi thata mo go wena mo e leng gore ga o gakologelediwa ka bontsi tsa lephata la gago. What is the issue? Kana go re go bombada go na le bothata bongwe.
Ya gore a go kgerisa hela ka dipotso mme go ngona le mme nna ne ke re a ke re dikarabo tse dintsi ala motho a ke a dinela a gare ga batho ha ile gore ke tse di personal.
Is it personal? In your job? But it's not personal, Chairman. It's a simple question.
Chair, point of order, Chair. I think let's not be personal. Let's just deal with professional things.
Yeah.
Just not personally.
I think le na account officer wa bona gore go thatanyana go this is a whole struggle.
You've been putting accounting officer against the wall.
Yeah, because he's the accounting officer. Actually, the questions covering the visa ene. You tahela mo assist. So the khandia. So I would not have a problem taking the accounting officer on. But I an officer who's under Ramutuse, a struggler. I have my sympathies and apologetically so, because the real work really is with the accounting officer. Actually, laying a kids Rauska, it's a Pahobota, how Padilota Padile, me Total to talk a Pacanyoa. Yeah, actually,
okay, so 118, all memos.
No, go ahead. Just Honorable something to.
Can Attorney General maybe give an update on 123 found on page 118?
123. Dumela catering.
Yes, cabling. Cabling for Africa. Yes, we have issued 3 summons.
Okay.
And in all 3 of them, we have failed to locate the latest. We have got the latest address, and we hope this time we'll get it. We've been failing to locate this company. At the register of companies, it's registered, but it's a postal address. So we keep locating for the company.
Can we extend that to the same request, page 119, on item 129 and 130?
129.
It will appear the ball is in your court. 129 and 130.
Yes. On 129 Sakasongo, we have managed to obtain a writ of execution, which is awaiting to be executed. Then in Tangi Sechele, this is an eviction from a farmland. We have long requested for further particulars because this person was, the address given was the address of the farm. So can I know when you say evict a person, he would be long have moved out of the farm. So we do not have his address outside the farm. So we cannot do anything beyond that.
We can proceed.
119. First one we close, the rest are memos. 120, the first 2 we close, and 136 we close, the rest are memos. 121 we memo 140 and 143, the rest we close. 122 we close. And rent offices, we close the first one, close 2, memo the third. 124, we memo. Little Lankemis. 125, all memos. 126, memos. 127, the memos. 128, memo. 129, memo. 130, we close. 131, we close 10, 14, and 15, we memo the rest. 132, we close 2, 4, 5, 6, and 8. Then we memo the rest. 133, we close 10, 11, and 12, and 15, and we memo the rest. 134, we close 28 and 29, then we memo the rest. 135, we close 31, 32, and 33, then we memo the rest. 136, we memo. 137, we close 55, 56, we memo the rest. 138, we memo. And 139, memo. And then, these boreholes, there's only been one clearance. The boreholes, there's only been one clearance. It's on page 154. There's only one clearance.
Up to page 154.
Imo page 154 clearance yate.
In page
54. Yaran Tusa. All the rest are memos. So legally 154. There's only one clearance. And then there were a few payments which are done, I think about 5 people, but they still had balances. Most of them, the rest, they're all memos. There hasn't been much movement. So from page 140 to 170. If you look at page 170, you see where this was the opening balance and the
How much is the opening balance we are still getting there?
507.
507,000.
837, and then about just a few recoveries, which are 16,000, and so total there's no movement. So I won't go page by page. Leka di level na yela I think it's the boreholes. More the individuals, others are syndicates, I think.
I kere gone go supagala gore ga gona movement madi a kolotwang ke 500,000 a hetseng a duetswe ke only 16,000 yaanong potso ke gore what is going on here, what is happening go thata e nna eng morwalo o re o rweleng o kwa batho ba sa dueleng yala mo kgaeng ya didiba. What could be the problem? I will now address the accounting officer.
Thank you, sir. We do try several follow-ups, like you see in the report, and in most of them we have come to the point where we have terminated the leases, meaning that the lessee does not anymore have access to the usage of the borehole. And for those that we have terminated, we will be recovering through assistance of Attorney General's chambers. Thank you, sir.
Have you approached the Attorney General's chambers yet?
Yes, for most of them, as it's indicated in the report.
Okay.
Yes.
Through you, Chair. Let's say, Negenetri Sidiba, Kirkinal Lisa Sidiba. You had terminate a house at Twala. Can I read a will come like a making no Sahonemoso? Can I terminate Alamu became mean against the Samoso?
Hey, Taloso, Araha, another terminator, Mobuki, and Miba to whatever Chilizua Vanessa, Vanosa.
We have a process of monitoring that also includes inspections. The lease will be terminated, and inspections are also done on the ground. In cases where we find that the lessee or the former lessee is continuing using the borehole, then we engage the law enforcement officers to assist.
Les allegati terminati le teri ngwa supa hala morago nyana hale ke hanzi di le mo dibuke a ke ro ka rona le tedi na le
go na tse di terminatilweng ka bo 2017 ya
meetings re na le tsone ha sorry ke bona ba buang ke bona re mo malusi.
Because we are still recovering what the lessee owed before termination.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Le metse gore le
To recover the scope.
Okay. Me Chair. Khone me yone ya di borehole ena. Do you have all the inventory ya di diba tsonetse across the country? Le inventory ya tsone sentle hela.
Yes, sir. The inventory is kept by the Department of Water and Sanitation, and there are some which are under water utilities, sir.
Okay. Na ke itse dingwe tse di tabong di epilogong ha the communities ba re ba kopa gore ba di neelwe gantsinyana o ka ga kgona ha le gote go na le lekgotla water apportionment board ke bona ba kwalwa to ba gana ba re nya seo kana ra batla go se dirisa nako nngwe se se tsa 20 years since sa dirisiwa but ra gore a ke itse re tsone tseo tsone lo a reng ke o ka re le dingamela thata mme di ka thusa our communities all around the country.
It's not all the boreholes that can be requested for by an individual or syndicate for that use. There are some which are used by Department of Water and Sanitation for monitoring purposes, to monitor the water level. So those ones are not listed out. Maybe in those cases, the syndicate or the individual have identified a borehole that has been set aside for that purpose of monitoring water levels and water quality.
E ka ba itela ke ba tumotikologo eo ba ipolelwa ke lenyora metsi a le hong ya nna ngwa re lebile re tsa ke to ka re ke bo sethogonya mme ke a go utwa gore wa re ya be le mo go dirisiwa go monitor level ya metsi.
Maybe Chair, if I can help out.
Yeah.
Total, the reason why movement encouraging most of these kids syndicate. The syndicate kana ga ba tsena mutumalano le bone gantsi ba tsena mutumalano le bone as a syndicate, not the individual members. But now when we have to sue in court, we have to sue the syndicate together with the individual members. Gantsi ga gona the details of those individual members. So re simolla research individually gantsi o tla itlhela le gore chairperson ke ena le gore na le wa syndicate, so ke ena o simolla re bontsha gore nya o mongwe o kwa. So that is the difficulty which we have, because we can't sue the syndicate in its own name only.
So tiralo ne be le go ba phutha ya no go le thata ba le kwaleko
e ra ka gore kere ga se gore botlhe mo leasing ba stated ke the name of the syndicate, le postal address ya syndicate, le the unfortunate chairman who signed, then the rest of them kana ga o tsena kwa itlhela le mona mo la gore nya mme ke na le re moalusi le re se mama ngo kwa o lo tlhoka hetse so we now start to search for them so I think the mistake is committed firstly ha re ga go tsena into that list gore ga re na di details of those individual syndicate members.
Che me gone che gore ke utlwa AG ke putsa gore keng re ka se ke re neele ene chairman ka gore o tshwantse a itse go batho ba ba leng teng ha e le gore ke Simons e tshwantse ba liste a ka ba ntse jalo ha o e monetse ene he has to a neele ba bang kante le ha nne ke botsa ka gone gore the inventory is it correct. I know a number of them tse e leng gore ke sitega go botsa potsweng gore ka gore ministry o ga ke tsore anong o bereka yang o kgaoganye yang ka gore go na le lentse mo teng pele mme gone e ne e le lona where you find a syndicate e le golo e be ba land boarding ba heta ba neela o mongwe within the periphery ya that sediba a be motho a teratela polasi mo sedibeng sa batho tse dingwe a ba di tsenye ka ga teng ga polasi yaanong ga utlwane ke botse ke botsisiwa ke bona ka gore ke ne ke batla go bona ke bona gore ga e wana but it's it's for another day or ntla e buela le lona ko thoko because this inventory ya mpelaetsa gore ga e mmogo mme hela nna ke akanya gore batho ga ba ntse jalo modula stilo kana wa ba le ho mo boemong jwa gore ke ena a ka le thusang go batla maloko a mangwe a gagwe Simon se ra e ba kwadile botle e be le ene ya go ba seva ka gore la be le sevile
Ke dumela le wena, sir. That is what we do. Yaanong ne ke re a ke re syndicate ga ena legal personality ga nka ke ka isua in its name. So letter of demand ke tsamaya ke a go neela chairman maybe re simola re ba batla botlhe together with the chairman. But letter of demand when we can do that, but the summons we cannot put the syndicate's name because we cannot sue. It doesn't have legal personality to be sued. Thank you, sir.
ke tsa gore a re teng hela se se tshwenyang ke gore mo mading a ka bana collectile 500,000 go collectile hela 16,000 not even 8%, 1%.
We're done with syndicates unless you have more questions. Let's go to page 171. It's a memo. 172, you close the first one, monitor the other.
To the matter of misappropriation of funds. What seemed to be causing the delay? This is a matter coming from 2013.
Where are we, sir? Which page?
Page 172.
1805.
Misappropriation of funds at 2013. We hear this DPP, that. May we have an update?
I'll report on behalf of DPP, even though I'm not from the DPP. What the DPP says, kana ditotomiso itlele, especially with this AML, there's a back and forth. So the latest update which they have, ba busitse docket, there were certain elements missing from it. So ba expect they agreed that they would do that in 3 months. So they've taken back the docket back to them because there's a certain element missing for them to proceed with the matter.
So the amount remain uncollected from the former employee?
It remains uncollected. I think this is just a criminal case. We do not have the civil case. This is just a criminal case.
Yeah, but that's precisely why I was asking for it. The only information we have here is somebody was dismissed. And then in other cases, we were able to collect from the terminal benefits this or that. In this particular instance, besides reporting the matter, the criminal route, what other action, what attempts were made to recover from the employee? So nothing was done to recover money from the benefit syndicates and the thing. Was there ever a disciplinary hearing? Kapole who kubilwa yala?
But you say, oh, but wait.
Haba sampo ba dira yalo, Attorney General, what comes first? Does the criminal element case has to pass first, and then they do the disciplinary, or it can go concurrently for them to claim compensation, or maybe they didn't have guidance on this?
What usually happens, what happens first, not depending on the case. Kana gona le tse e leng gore a kere o batla gore motho o beile madi ko accounting, so you do not want to alert him gore wa go hella o freeza madi a. So in that case you can straight away go the picker route without even going through the administrative process. But in normal circumstances, say leng gore gona le case e ntsenyana ke the administrative process, then the civil and criminal process can run parallel, the other being dependent on the other. I get pressure a criminal can get him to pay, so the civil one falls away. So those ones can run parallel. But the admin one, is similar, unless you do not want to alert him or there's something you are going against him. But with this one, with this one, the way we operate, we receive instructions. One of the instructions we received was for the criminal part. So we did not get instructions on the civil part.
Yeah.
I mean the DPP.
Yeah, I guess we are back to the internal processes to recover the money, which we had time to look into. We are waiting response. Unless the chair decides otherwise. I mean, these are things we need proper responses on, and BOTSWANA.
Retaba information, sir, retaitis.
County officer, but that information.
Kore se se diragetseng ke goreng there is part of money e leng goreng ana deductiwa mo di benefitsing tsa gagwe, but go bo go nna le madi a leng gore ana sala e le gore a gona kwa e leng gore a ka recoverwa teng. So ke yone balance e leng gore e setse.
But hone me kana ha ngwe tota wena wa madi hela re go tsentse dingalo accounting officer, disciplinary hearing, disciplinary action, civil case, the instruction tsa yone 2 AGs re tsamagare.
I do not have a concrete answer concerning this particular case.
Quite evidently gona le bothatanyana ka ditlhaloso re
Spatch. And let's continue. 172, we close. The rest monitor. 173, we monitor. 174, we monitor. 175, we monitor. 176, is it okay? Is it within the first two closed? The rest we monitor. 177 is monitor. 78, we close 1809 and that one. You close Y2 and Y3 and we monitor the rest. Page 178. Now remove 179, we close Y6 and Y7, we monitor the rest. We monitor 180, monitor 181, monitor 182. Auditor General, okay.
Hello.
Okay.
Okay. We are looking at paragraph 76. We have to acknowledge the error. You are heading, you are North South Korea, Mogodi Hills to Pizza and the heading was supposed to be Mogodi Hill to Pitani Water Supply Scheme. We admit that you made an error. Then the other thing is delayed payments. On these delayed payments, they indicated that the problem was due to inadequate funding. Is the one that caused the project to be demobilized and remobilized. So, they should just update the members on what actually transpired here.
Are you okay with the response?
Ma?
You okay with the response? We should go to the next one.
Yeah, the response is here, but they just indicated that the contract's claims were inevitable as per the conditions of the contract.
Okay, let's go. It's a monitor then.
The monitor.
Let's go to page 184.
Sorry? Okay, can I? On page 185, we've noted.
184.
Okay. So we monitor.
I think this 184 is the one that we've been talking about, is it not?
No, there are two different issues, but both of them are late payments, delayed payments. But this one, the one on page 185 resulted in a penalty of 982. Just 982.
No, let's speak to this one first.
No, okay. The number 2 and the number 1 that you are speaking to, they are both delayed payments, and the one for number 2 has resulted in a penalty.
Okay. Kana ye ke yone ntseng re go buiwa ka yone At the time of audit, if you look at the Auditor General's report, at the time of audit, total.
In this report, there are 3 projects.
Oh.
There are 2 in fact, but the other one has 2 issues.
Oh, okay.
The first one has only 1 issue.
Okay. Okay.
So the Mama Shia Kanya one is the one that we said it has an increase of 228% from the initial contract price of 15 million to 76 million. And then in that project also, there was another project which had an initial estimate of 680 million and ended up being 1.2 billion.
This is the Kanye Mamashia.
Yeah. There is Kanye Mamashia and the one that is in Kanye village, the part that was in Kanye village.
Maybe the one in Kanye village is the one that she was talking about, the sanitation one.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one that we have discussed.
Yeah.
But now you are bringing in the Kanye Mamashia, and then you are saying the original.
Yeah, it's the one that increased with 228%.
Oh, the original
was 15 million.
15 million.
And it rose to 76 million.
Rose to 76 million.
Yes.
That's another revelation again from Kanye.
Yeah.
The increase was like 228%. This is quite a very unusual increase, 228. I suspect the other one was around 400%. Are you familiar with this project as well? Yeah, Kanye Mama Shia. What do you have to give?
There was a delay in awarding the consultancy tender. And there was also a back and forth of cancellations during the construction stage. So the 6 years delay caused escalations from the initial contract sum to when the project was now being implemented, because obviously the costs of materials and other things such as labor did not remain the same.
Delay
6 years. 6 years before the construction started.
So the increase was 228%.
Yes, sir.
Is that? Do you find it normal? Is it okay?
No, it's
well,
not
even
normal.
with the escalation of materials,
it's not
in
normal.
terms of prices, can we then expect this huge increase, 228%?
I don't think it's normal, say, looking at the number of years and the challenges that are put here.
Chair, if one may ask, who was the minister by then? 2015-16?
I think Ramokaila. Yes, sir.
Huh?
It was Ramokaila.
Well, back in what year?
15-16.
2016.
Through you, Chair. This tender, kya consultancy can I have the actual construction? Because good tali work material, but I give la lora consultancy or takaditinale.
There are 2 tenders here for consultancy and construction.
The rise, the escalation in prices, to me is abnormal. Well, it's 6 years, but 228% hike or rise, I don't think is normal. I think there's something wrong with these projects, water projects.
Chair, let's understand this issue. A tender is awarded in 2014 and it is implemented in 2020. Kante ha go sena madi ha ke go diragala gore go twe ra cancela kana jang rather than motho a keep tender ha te contract hela for 6 years.
So I think because of some of the clauses within the contract, especially if the contract was already signed, it is difficult to stop the project. Sometimes it's advisable to at least award and not sign a contract and hold at the award stage.
Attorney General. Attorney General. Ke tsone di kontraka tsa fidikitse tse ne di buiwa ke foromane gago.
Ke tsone se.
O bona di kontraka tseo ka ra di a siama. Ke o ka re di slanted in favor of the contractors. O di bona ya?
Kana me, in most instances, kana were the drafters.
Huh?
We are the ones who draft them. Obviously, we are guided by the FIDIC contract.
Na go mo ga FIDIC mo ke nna ke batla go tlhaloganya sentle. Yaanong go loaded in favor of the contractors. Goromento e pitela nna pitaganela ha di le contracts tse di draftilweng ke lona mme le guidediwa ke FIDIC. Or would you agree with me that they are loaded in favor of contractors?
From the cases which have been presented here, it looks like they are.
It does look like.
From the cases which have been presented, we
Mina esela ntha ke di utlwa gone yana ke ntse ke kile ka utlwa ka tsone. Tsone tsa FIDIC. I think there are a problem. Gongwe di tshwanetse tsa lejwa sesha wa itse. Hela utlwa go te FIDIC loaded in favor of the contract. Goromento wa lose. Goromento is locked in ha kgone go tswa. I think these things must be looked at. Auditor General?
Yes, sir. Chair, kana melao ya rena ya mo Botswana, including the financial instruction, le PPADB Act, because this time it was PPADB Act. The ga di letelle gore o ka simolla procurement o sa confirma gore a madi a teng jaanong nna ke bona gore this thing ya gore re be re helela go dirwa go awadiwa dikontraka go sena madi ke gone gore yaanong go go helela go tsenya formente mo mathateng because molao one ga o lete gore go ka dirwa o sa confirma gore a madi a teng.
O robile molao ha o dira jalo ha o ada madi a seo.
Erra.
Account officer wa utwa e gore ya re.
Yeah.
No le ntse lo itse.
Ra itse se. We didn't qara wada go sena madi. Erra.
Le gore le gona le madi.
Gona le madi, there was just a delay in executing the project.
Okay. Elia when Norlio no gona le bothatanyana no ha wa raba honorable ke kgonegile but anyway ora ra ke ya go utlwa sentle. Obviously re bona di leaks tse dintsi o ha di phatla tse dintsinyana tse madi a dutlang ka tsone and it's very unfortunate ka gore one madi one a hela ha ka ha latlhegang ka teng have got implications for the quality of life of our people, which is very worrying. I guess we can progress the engagement. Technical advisor, I think we can progress the.
Is it the contract had to demobilize? I think demobilize and remobilize. Well, I saw it somewhere. Yeah, where you talk about demobilization and what? It was lack of. Who's the client? Page 180.
Did you put any question to
the accounting officer?
the accounting officer?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
The accounting officer had earlier said, "Gore ga ba wa le go sena madi." Yaanong be ke re, this one where a contractor had to demobilize and remobilize, was it not an issue ya gore ha gona madi or what?
That was their response. Thank you.
This contract was awarded. Madi a le teng. It was an ongoing project.
Bo go delay keng go.
Then
Or perhaps
there was a, I don't know whether to call it mini recession or what. So we ended up prioritizing the bigger projects when we were paying the certificates as they were coming in. So we prioritized certificates that, big sums of money, so that when we don't pay, they attract interest, so that we attract less interest on the small amounts.
Okay.
Yes.
Page 185, Auditor General, if you don't have anything.
We noted that the contractor registered some vehicles was supposed to remit the funds, the proceeds to the procurer, but they didn't do that. Instead, we were told the amount was netted off when the payment were made, and we were not given anything to substantiate that. Thank you.
Yeah, but it says here there's some documents which was the final account was handed over to the auditing. Not Lona.
No.
Okay, accounting officer.
That's page 185.
Sorry. These were 7 vehicles which were auctioned, and an amount of 797,150. Is it million or thousand? 797,150 pula was made out of that auction, and this money was deducted from the final certificate of the contract.
Auditor General batla monitor.
Okay, you should monitor it, but looking at this, members, I would like to say, kana dikoloi tsone tsene di auctioniwa tse ke dikoloi hela tse di rekilweng ka madi a mantsi, and then after a period of I think 30 months, and then because when we were doing the report, I've seen that some were budgeted at around 420,000, and then 7 of them were sold at a total amount of 719, and even though they are mentioning or there was evaluation that we didn't see, I don't know, or after 30 months, a car worth 420 can be, 7 of them can be sold at 719. Ghana, it means each one was around 100,000 from 400.
Within 30 months.
After 30 months.
Auditor General says they have not seen the valuation or the valuation price for the vehicles. We do have it here, Madam. It's just that we have not added the market value for the vehicles to see the extent to which, whether it's far or near to the 797,000 that was recovered.
Yeah. Okay, do you have something to say? If you don't have, we proceed.
In that case, we're done. Just let the line ke annex where they were giving details about the projects.
Sister Lantalanke and our next chapter about the projects, I want to propose that with the projects, one of the things that they could do for us, with a little bit of detail on time and cost overruns. I think so. The project is what re supe gore tse dina le tiego ke di diregile go le kae tse di hedileng ka nako ke dihe hela jalo tse di hedileng tse di sa helang ka nako di cost overrun ke bokae hela jalo re tere re ne la appreciation ya tsone.
From which year, sir?
Give us the latest, yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Give us the latest.
Yes, sir.
Yes. But we are to examination. More than one. Till late. We have asked for all arrangements to be made. So re lebogela boitshoko jalo na batho betso re bo le thotse le rona ha tsatsi lotlhe maabane re le re thotse le ba lands and agriculture le bone tsatsi lotlhe go raya gore re tabo re ya go ba tourism mme re leboga thata mme tse di duleng mo letsatsi la gompieno tse ke neng ke bona o ka mabapi hela le pelaelo ya gore di ga di tsamaye sentle o ka re in terms of money di go godimo thata gore ga o gakologela 112 million wa go lathega ko maung ka gore komponeng ya kubiwa ise simolole tiro o bo bona 400 million wa ko maung gape yo le ene wa di-time and cost overruns bo bona 2.7 billion wa ko kanye the variance. The variance is 2.7 billion. Gore tshenyego e ntsi thata 40 million go tswa Chopong. Ya no gona le kanyo mo ke yo gape wa variance ya 60 million. Gore ha o bala di million se ke di ma le re honorable monageng totar gore mo puso wa bala million ha se sepe. Me ya ke ga khametso le billion ha o mmua. Ha gona o pe o le be ga e ke tukare wa tshwenya mo bodi ready le raro la tshwenya nna ke bona ke ta go tshwenyegiwe mme le ka bona ya no se sene sa gamatsa la boyalo ke gore gape ga tino gona le safe gone go officing ya tona nngwe ya ba ya ntshiwa go tene le phoso gore dilo tse di diragala la bona gore go ga go diragala dilo tse e seng tsone gate safe ene e tsentso mo office ya tona e re morago e ntshiwa go tene le phoso gore ne le gone kao ha o no seo mme gone re di butule dikgang go ga gona le mathata a matona thata mme a re eme gone ha re le golole batho betso rona re sale re tsweledisa tiro ya letsatsi tseo tsotlhe tse re di kopileng thenko di teka nako ka le rona re batla gore re di lebete re tere lebe ko dikgaolong mo bekeetang ba re emetse ba kanye ba mmate ke ba ntse ba founa ga ebile a sa kgone go e ba mo silenteng re lebogile batho betso mma re sale re tswelela pele le tiro gone a ke re mo palamente a o gakamatse nako ngwe wa ete go tšhaetswe ka one bosigo ke kopasio ya